everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we will be discussing one of Lindsay Lohan's movies called The Parent Trap. Now this was back in the 2000s when Lindsay Lohan was in her prime. So it starts off with her parents, Elizabeth and Nick, on a cruise ship. And this is how they met. They met on the cruise ship called Elizabeth QE2. And on that same night, I think, they got married. And then 11 years later, they split up. And then we cut to 11 years later again. Well, we don't cut to it again. But we cut to 11 years later. There are these two identical twins, Hallie and Annie. Now, Hallie and Annie are both identical twins. So they go to the same girls' camp, not knowing about the other. So let me give you a little backstory on both of them before we continue. Hallie lives with her dad in California, Northern California. And Annie lives with her mom in London. And she is rich. Well, not rich, but she does have money. Because her mom is a designer. And her dad owns her own. And wait. And Hallie's dad owns his own vineyard. So the girls, so Hallie, the first twin that you see, but you see the second twin arrive in a limo a couple minutes later. But Hallie, the first twin that you see, is trying to grab her duffel bag. But she is having difficulty. So she meets these two girls. They become best friends. And it turns out that Hallie is very good at poker. And then, right after that, we meet her twin Annie, who is very proper, who is also good at poker. And so, her and her butler, which are best friends, and I think their little handshake is the most cutest thing I have ever seen. So anyway. The day passes, and the next day, in the lunch area, they both are getting lunch, but neither of them looks across from each other. And and they go sit with their friends. But on this day, they do actually have a fencing match, and on the fencing match, they actually meet each other for the first time, and they are amazed on how much they look alike. And they get in a fight because Annie said how much they did look alike, but Hallie just wanted to tease her. So this is when Annie got mad and started teasing her back, and they almost got in a fight. And even the counselor couldn't tell them apart from each other. So anyway, that's how they met. And back in Annie's cabin, she is playing poker, and Hallie says, "If no one wants to go, I'll take a whack at it." So Hallie gets all her money that she put in a sock, and then she puts it all on the table and says, "If I win, how about a little wager? How about whoever loses has to I'm sorry. Mm, 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 mm. And she says, how about a little wager? Whoever loses has to jump into the pond after the game." And Hallie also says, "Butt naked." And then this is what Annie says, "Excellent, even more excellent. Start on zipping Parker." And then she puts her cards down on the table, and then Hallie says, "You're good, James, but I'm better." So it turns out that Hallie won the match, and Annie had to go outside, had to stick to the bet. But Hallie and her friends took her clothes. And then, this is what Annie said, "If that's the way you want it, let the games begin." So the next day, Annie, I don't know how she did it, but she had Olive. She had Olive, Hallie's, Hallie's stuff up on the cabin instead of in the cabin. So all their beds were on top of the cabin. And so with this, Hallie and her friends decided to pull the ultimate prank. So they went to Annie's room and put chocolates everywhere, put traps everywhere, put water balloons everywhere. And then when they woke up in a mess with water balloons jumping all around, with having honey on their clothes, having whipped cream on their clothes, like having everything in their clothes. So with that in mind, surprise. So, wait, wait. Yeah, a surprise expression came up. So a surprise inspection were like were like when the counselors had to check the cabins and the girls were by Annie's cabin laughing it up what they did to them. Wait. Until the counselor Marvis wanted to go inside Annie's cabin, and then Hallie tried to stop her and said, "One of the girls got sick last night and it's a big mess. I really don't think you should go in there." But the counselor says, "Move aside, dear, it's fine." If someone is sick, wait. If someone is sick, dear, I must go in. And so, hmm, 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 hmm. So Holly says, "No, I insist. You really shouldn't go in there." And then Annie catches her and says, "Actually, we're all quite fine in here." And hmm, hmm, unless mm, 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 unless Miss Hallie Parker knows something we don't know. So the counselor Marvis goes in, and it just ends up a mess for her and the other counselor. And then, after the mess is all over and they're all dirty and filthy, Marvis, the counselor, says, "You and you, the isolation cabin." So the first night there, Hallie can't sleep with the light on, and Annie needs the light on because and Annie needs the light on because I think and Annie needs the light on because I think she's trying to write something to her mother. So they spend that whole entire night fighting over to keep the lights on or to turn them off with each other. It actually ended up into a stare contest, which is really funny. And then the next day, it starts raining bad, and then and and then the window opens, and then it's really bad rain and the wind, and Annie actually helped her. And Annie actually helps Hallie close the window, and then they start talking about how they never met, and then they start talking how they're both the same age, how they like peanut butter and Oreos, and how Annie's never met her father, and Hallie's never met her mother. And they both have an old picture of the person that they haven't seen. So they put it together. So they put the picture together on three, and it turned out that, and it turned out that they are actually twin sisters. So they devise a plan to get their parents back together. So, when it's time to leave for camp, Annie goes home as Hallie, and Hallie goes home as Annie. So, going home, the butler and the nanny both realize something is up with the other twin, because Hallie had Gubby in her because Hallie had Gubby in her suitcase, and the butler found him. And so I think the butler knew that Hallie was Hallie and not Annie. But he did not tell the mother that Hallie was Hallie. So wait. So back home in California for Annie, she has not been eating well. The dog that Hallie owns realized that it's not Hallie, and every time he sees her, he barks and growls. So the nanny realizes since since Hallie is acting weird, that that wait 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 that wait wait that so the nanny realized this since Hallie is acting weird, and that and wait, since Hallie is acting weird and not and wait. So wait. So the nanny realizes so the nanny realizes that Hallie is not Hallie because Nanny realizes that Hallie is not Hallie because her appetite changed. Her dog doesn't want to be around her. Oh, and again, when Annie was talking to herself, her accent came out by accident. Oh, and you guys will never guess. The dad is getting married to this woman named Meredith Blake. So, Annie calls her sister that night and saying, "You had to get mother out here immediately because dad's getting married and I don't know what to do." And so with that, Hallie says, no, I'm not getting Mom out there immediately because I want to spend time with her. And then she just hangs up the phone. And then, and then, and then when Hallie's dad tells her that, hey, Hallie, I'm getting married, this is when Annie, this is when, and, this is when Annie gets upset and starts speaking in French like, you can't get married to Meredith. It'll ruin absolutely everything. And then she starts yelling in French. And then Hallie tells Jessie that she's not really Hallie, she's her twin sister, Annie. And it and can you guys tell me this? How come how come how come the butler and the nanny knew that the twins were different, but they never found out about each other during their whole childhood? And so and so and oh, wait, wait, mm, wait, so the dad goes and talks. So the dad talks to Meredith, and Meredith says, "Why don't I go talk to her?" So Meredith tries to talk to her, but Annie can see what she's doing and says, "It." If you are in love with my dad, and if this is the real deal, then his money, then his money has nothing to do with you trying to marry him, right? And might I have to say, the makeover montage was my favorite part of the movie. But do not try to pierce your own ears, my young viewers who are watching. Do not try to pierce your own ears, the young viewers who are watching this. Do not. So, anyway. And wait. So, anyway, Annie is back home with her mom having dinner, and and the butler actually gets a note from Annie, and then he went and 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 then he and then he showed it to Hallie, and then Hallie falls out of the chair and 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 then Holly falls out of the chair, and then the mother acts as if she's okay, and went. And then Holly says, "I'm fine. I just had mm, I mm, I just had um I just I uh, I just um I just got a little woozy, that's all." And then when she goes to the pink phone, that's when the father figures it out that she is Hallie, not Annie. And they go for a walk in the park. And so when she tells her mom's not even mad. She's just happy to see her. And then they tell and and then and then her mother tells her and then her mother tells her, "I have got to take you back to your dad, 'cause and when and 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 just went, I have got to take you back to your dad because really you belong to your dad and Amy belongs to me. But really they're both your daughters, so they belong to both of you." But anyway, so they go to California, but when and 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 this one so they go to California, but the mom is so nervous. Let's just say that she drinks a little bit too much, and 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 her and Annie actually do see each other again. At the hotel. And wait, wait, and wait, and wait, and and wait, wait, and she actually sees Holly, and they tell her mother that they've been actively trying to get their parents back together because they're so perfect for each other, and blah 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 blah. Wait. And they tell her that he is getting remarried to the girl Meredith, which who she just saw in the elevator kissing him. And wait, and the maid and the nanny and the butler actually do end up getting into a little relationship, and they are so cute and so dear to my heart. and and wait, eh, wait, and and the girls end up making a date for them, and they start talking about old times and how they were so young, and they start talking about old times and how they were so young and confused. And the dad says, "Why did you leave? And I didn't know that you wanted me to chase after you." And and they do actually make plans for the girls to see them for wait. They do actually make plans for the girls to see them like the dad says, "I will send Holly up to you at Christmas." And wait. Hmm, 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 and and Annie will spend the Easter with you. Um, and that's right. And Annie will spend the Easter with you, the mom said. So, with that in mind, they are all packed to go. They had their little date. I mean, and waiting. So with that in mind, they are all packed to go. The waiting. And, and so with that in mind, they are all packed to go. With that in mind, they are all packed to go. But the girl said, "No way, we are not standing for this. We are going on that camping trip together as a family." Oh, just a little side note here. When the dad saw the mom looking in the elevator waving to him, he got so stunned and he fell in the pool. Oh, 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 oh. And did I tell you guys that wait, and and did I tell you guys that and 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 wait, and did I tell you guys that the fiance to Hallie's father met Elizabeth James, the um and his ex-wife, and 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 it's waiting and waiting and waiting and Meredith caught them by the pool together, and Nick was all like wet because he fell in the pool. And and she met the girls and went and this went and and Nick told her that Hallie was a twin. So, and so when Meredith and Nick and everybody got back, they decided to get ready for the camping. So Nick is packing the bag in the car to get ready for the camping trip. To get wait, packing the bag in the car to get ready for the camping trip. And Meredith is not too happy about him going on a trip with his ex-wife and the girls. So, ex-wife and the girls. So, so Elizabeth invites Meredith to join them, and then Elizabeth just decides not to go and and tells Meredith that this is your chance to really get to know the girls. Starting next week, they're all yours. Because starting next week, they're all your chance to really get to know the girls. Because starting next week, they're half yours. Since you and Nick are getting married. And then so they go. But the twins end up sabotaging her like and when and 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 when I say sabotage, like they put rocks in her backpack, like they put rocks in her backpack, they put a scorpion on her water bottle, and 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 they put sugar and water in a bottle and wait, and they put sugar and water in a bottle and give it to her. And give it to her as bug repellent. And when and they tell her and they are telling her about mountain lions, so she uses 2 sticks to scare them away. And then Nick looks 2 sticks to scare them away. And then Nick looks at her and says, Meredith, what are you doing? And then Meredith says, well, I don't want the mountain lions to hear me. And then and then Meredith realizes that there are no mountain lions up there. The girl just said that to scare her. And then Meredith goes to bed. But the biggest thing to me is, but the biggest thing that made me laugh is like when they dragged the mattress outside onto the river. And then when she woke up, she was on the river. And then she was like, Nikki! And then this is when it went. And this is when she calls off the engagement and says it's either me or them, and he picked his daughters. What a surprise, right? And then they came back home, but the girls were grounded. But the mom and dad did have a little date night with wine. And he took her to the wine cellar and they almost kissed, but they didn't. So at the end, so at the end, so at the end, the butler and Jesse are saying goodbye to each other, which is so sad because they're so cute. But don't worry, this isn't the end for them or the girls. And the girls are saying goodbye to each other, and they both go home. So Holly goes back home with her dad, and Annie goes back home with her mom and her grandfather. So when they're home and when they step into the study, it's not their grandfather. So when they go home and they step into the study, it's not the grandfather. It's Nick and Hallie. And he said, I made the mistake of not coming after you once. And he declares his love, and they get remarried, and the twins become bridesmaids. And it's hinted at that Jesse and the butler get married next. And that's pretty much how it ends. All in all, The Parent Trap is a must-see movie. It is one of my second favorite movies next to Friday, Freaky Friday with Lindsay Lohan, that I say is a must-see. Bye. See you guys in my next video.